So guys, it is that time of the year where we can harvest pecan nuts. Now in this video I'm going to show you how we do the early harvest, or one of the methods of how to harvest pecan nuts. Sama na tumilang mulweni abusheni di macharoni. Assalamu alaikum, namaste, good day, goeiedag, awe, masterkinders. My name is Winston and welcome back to my channel, Bushies by Boer. On this channel we discuss everything relating to small scale farming and the small projects that you can do yourself, save on some money and enjoy the fruit of your labor. It is the 18th of April today. It is part of the Easter weekend. It's a Monday and it's a public holiday, and we had a lot of rain over the past weekend, over the past week. And this morning when the rain stopped, I thought, let me come out and see what kind of damage we have, if we have to fix anything or take care of something. And then I just walked around and I saw that the pecan nuts are actually ready for their first harvest. Now in this video over here, I showed you what pecan nuts are, I showed you how they grow, I showed you what it looks like, and now now I'm ready to show you how we actually take care, or how we actually harvest this, right? Now I showed you how it grows. It grows in a cluster like that, and the husk is normally green, and it grows like in a bunch like this. This is actually the same tree where I was when I showed you how it grows. Here's another cluster over here, here's another bunch over there, there's another bunch over there, and you will see that they grow in a green husk. In a green husk. Now what we do is, with early harvest, you will notice that the green husk, the edges over here will actually split open. It will turn brown and split open. Let me just let the camera's focusing. So the green husk will actually turn brown here, the corners, and then it will actually split open. And all you can do is you go there and just give it a squeeze, and you can see that it actually opens. So this one is actually ready to harvest. Let me pick this. So here you go. I picked, I picked it. So actually you can see I squeezed it, then it opens up. If the camera can just focus on that. Let me see if I can see properly. There you go. So you can open it, squeeze it, opens up. And what you want to do is you want to open it up. You want to open the husk out, and then you will find the pecan nut still in its shell. So it will come in this husk, still in the shell. Let me just come closer. My camera does not want to focus on but that is it. That is as easy it is. Let me get the others and I'll show you what it looks like. So those are the 4 that I took off, and you just want to squeeze this. If you squeeze it, you'll see it opens. Then you open the husk, and inside you'll find the pecan nut. You can do that with the rest. Open up, you'll find the pecan nut. And do the last one, squeeze it out, open up, and you'll find the nut in the shell. And that's 4 on just that one cluster. Now the thing with this is, because this husk, you will actually be able to feel that this is actually quite wet. So because this is wet, your shell is also still wet. So you have to cure this the same way that you will store potatoes, onions, tomatoes in a dark area where there's just ventilation that will dry this. So this will take about 2 weeks still to dry the shell. Because once you open this up, I don't want to open it up now because it's going to spoil the nut. Once you open this up, the nut will not have that crackling texture. It will actually be more of a whitish color than the brownish color that you want it to be, and it will not be as crispy as you want it to be. It will not have the same texture. It will actually have that bland taste, and you will not want to eat that. So you have to keep this for another 2 weeks or so for the shell to dry, and then only you can open this up, because you can actually feel, you will actually be able to feel, you can actually see, I don't know if you can see the moisture on the shell as well, and it comes from the husk. So you want to dry this off until it is ready to be eaten. Why is it so important to do early harvest with pecan nuts? Is that, you know, once the husks open up and it softens, it opens up. It's actually inviting. Let me see. It's actually inviting some rodents, some insects, to go and make a nest inside of there. So there's a lot of times when you open your pecan nut and you find worms or some other kind of insect in there. That's why you want to do early harvest. It's just to eliminate or to prevent those worms to find a nest, find a home inside your pecan nut, and you will be losing some harvest. That's the reason why we do that. The longer you keep it on there, the more you expose it to outside elements like insects to start eating your pecan nuts. And this is what I was talking about. If you leave your nuts for too long, there you go. There's a little worm. If the video can just focus, but there you go. There's a little worm squirming around. And this is what it looks like. It looks like, I don't know, it left a lot of eggs in there. So you don't want to leave your pecan nut too long. You want to really harvest them as soon as you can, especially when the husk starts opening up. This one is definitely not edible. We're gonna throw that away. So what I'm gonna do is, I need to get on a ladder. I need to get up there and see if I can get to the ones that I can reach. All right, because some of the trees are actually very big and I can't reach too high up. I can only take off the ones that I can reach, and I will take them out of their husks, and then I'll show you what our early harvest looks like. That's method number one. Method number two, you use for the bigger trees where you cannot get to the pecan nuts on top of the tree. You use method number two. I will show you that in a future video, but for the sake of this video, this is method number one for the early harvest. These nuts, if I pick them now, in 2 weeks they will be ready to be eaten. All right, so let me go and harvest, and I'll show you what our early harvest looks like. Remember, this is only but one of 160 trees. We have a lot of trees, but I can tell you that there are a lot of them that does not carry anything, that does not have anything on it, and I know for a fact 2 of them already died. It's either because of the ants or because of termites, and I gave one of the smaller trees to my brother also. So there's like around 150 trees, but not all of them has pecan nuts. But let me go and harvest these ones that I can get to. I will clean for the rest of the week or so. In the next weekend, I will clean up at the back so I can actually reach those trees, because there's a lot of blackjacks, and I will harvest those ones, and I will show you what our early harvest looks like. So alright guys, I want to show you what late harvest look like. So you'll see the husk kind of drying out completely, and as the husk dries out, it opens up, and the nut will be dangling from the husk, and you can literally just shake the branch, it will fall out, or you can just wait until it falls out by itself and harvest from the floor, and that will be your the late harvest. So basically these nuts will be dry completely and you can use them immediately. This is what I mean by late harvest, when you wait for it, and this happens mainly when you can't reach the top of some of the branches, and you literally have to wait for the branch or for the nut to fall out, and that is what we call late harvest, or maybe the nuts that we harvest later in autumn. So we went and harvested one row of pecan nuts back, and this is like the harvest. This is like a 20-liter paint bucket. This is our harvest for one row only. The number of trees, your number was
10.
10. Do you know what trees were they?
No.
It's the trees that had pecan nuts. All the trees that had pecan nuts. So all those pecan nuts that we got, those came from all the 10 trees that had pecan nuts. Your number was?
3 that didn't have any peanuts.
So 3 trees didn't have any pecan nuts, and one of the trees died, and one of the trees actually changed. It changed because I think the trees were engrafted. So the one tree just, and that's one of the trees that the goats broke. So it started growing back, but it is not a pecan nut tree anymore. So I think most of these trees were engrafted. So this is like this is like just some of the harvest from one row only. I counted roughly 9 rows still. No, 9 total of 9 rows. We still have to do 8 more rows. So if this is what we got, the boys have more work. This is like step 1 of our harvesting, right? To literally take it off the tree. Step 2, I'm going to show you tomorrow, because I'm going to give these boys work to do tomorrow to do step 2, and I'll show you what that is.
Oh, that is a triple shot.
So the boys are busy with step 2 of our harvest, and that's basically taking the stuff that we harvest and peeling the husk, putting the husk in there and putting the nut in there. Now let me give you an example of how moist this is. Let me open it up for you, and I'll open it up and I'll show you how moist it is inside. You can actually literally see the moist on the nut. So you need to like literally put it one side and have it dried. So this is step 2, just peeling the husk off, putting the husk there. The only downfall to this method is also it stains your hands. So later on, when the boys are done, I'll kind of like take a picture of how their hands looks like. But this is like just like normal fun for them, because they can watch TV while doing this. So they're gonna be finishing this, and then we'll show you step 3 of our harvest. So this is the third and final stage of our pecan nut harvest. You can see that we just laid on a nice sack, to dry out, and there's like cardboard at the bottom. This is also the room that we use to ripen our tomatoes. You know the tomato. I will leave a link over here of the tomato video that I showed you. But we use this room. It's like nice and dark. It's not a lot of sunlight that comes in here. It's only it gets a little bit of sunlight late afternoon. So this pecan nuts will sit here for like 2 weeks. It has to dry out for 2 weeks. You saw how moist it is, and then after 2 weeks, then it will be ready to be processed. So stay tuned for that video where I show you how we're gonna process pecan nuts. So the rule is, when we harvest pecan nuts, the husk has to open up before you take it from the tree. Now the boys have taken one husk that has not opened up, and you can literally see how this nut is not even matured properly. The husk doesn't even want to come off when you peel it, so it's like stuck to the shell of the nut. So this is how it looks like. If it's premature, we literally can just throw this away, because even if we leave this to dry, it will not be a proper nut, because the nut inside of the shell inside of the shell would not have matured properly. So what do we do with the husks? Well, the husks dry off. You can see it will dry off. It's green, but it will turn brown at the end of the day. You can literally use this in your fire if you want to braai, or you want to make a potjie, or you want to, apparently the guys use this to smoke their meat as well. So apparently it gives a nice flavor to smoked meat. And all I'm going to do right now is I'm going to place it in this fire pit over here and allow it to dry properly, and then we'll probably use it in the future. But I need to clean out and use this ash for my garden. So you can also use ash for your garden, and I normally just burn some wood, the weed and the stuff that I collect. I burn it out here and I use it for my garden. I'm gonna clean this out. I'm gonna add this to there, and I'm gonna let it dry, and I'm gonna use it later on, maybe for it. Winter is coming, so I'm gonna probably use it for in the fireplace as well. I'm gonna test it out, by the way. And I'll let you know in the future how it works in the fireplace, because you can literally use it in the fireplace, and apparently it gives off a nice aroma. I will let you know about that in the future. So guys, that's how we harvest nuts. I showed you the two methods, the one for early harvest, and the one where you would wait for the husk to dry and you'll just shake the tree, and you can harvest those nuts. So that's just one row, 15 trees that we checked. 10 trees carried nuts. We still have about 8 or 9 rows to go to, but I just showed you the process of what we do. We're gonna go out right now and do another couple of rows, or 1 or 2 rows if we can, depending on the weather. It's sunny, but it's also changing to overcast, so anything can happen in Joburg. So if you like this video, give me the thumbs up. If you don't, give me the thumbs down. If you have any questions, suggestions, leave them in the comment section down below. Remember to subscribe and destroy that notification bell so that you can be notified whenever we have a new upload. Stay tuned for that future video where I'm going to show you how we're going to process those pecan nuts, sort and process it for it to be ready to be sold. But that's it for this episode. Until next time, keep well, stay safe, stay blessed. Away.